advantage your ult, but it's like a 30-second cooldown, right? You hard dive that Loki, you get out that rune, and then you can do whatever you like. I do like this Phoenix from Nitro, though. I'm going to be getting some early poke damage. We are going to be seeing Plasma on the classic Angela, forcing Nitro out of that really nice high ground as Portsmouth are just gaining so much space. Penny Nest already been destroyed as well. Stuff's scouting that out, managing to take it down as Flat Salt getting a little bit scared here. They did save his cat, but he has opted to play this Strange for the team-up, probably, as the Invis Strange team-up is very scary. Carvin finding a pick onto Stuff, so his Plasma is going to be able to grab two in. Both Flat Salt and Carvin getting low, but they're able to just use their cooldowns to get out, and now C is in the backline and destroying the supports. Both of them fall to C in the fight. First fight of the game is going to be going towards Southampton. They played that so slow. They gave
you see
Portsmouth
that mastery on this character. The usage of the team
Yeah.
up to confirm the kill onto the Invis. You don't do that unless you play this character, you know?
You don't see many magics, but when you do, they are usually like these OTPs that know every combo, every in-depth way to kill the precise damage, and that is exactly what we're seeing from C. McCallion getting really low extremely early into the fight as Plasma is caught out a little bit here, able to back away and get healed up by Corpse Person JP for now. We are seeing the Stranger 1v1 happening. One does not have a team up though, but Flat Salt needs to be careful. Hunted by Plasma, pulled by Corpse Person. That is a very dead Flat Salt. The CC changes are not going to help you there as you're already so low, as Carvin is going to be falling next. It seems C using this Dark Child to scare them away from trying to take down Carvin, as JP is going to be using the It's Jeff to survive for the time being. Nitro managing to find Stuffs is huge though, as now that is a very scary DPS out of the fight, as Plasma is going to be falling to C, and this is not looking good. Jacko scarily low on health, still waiting to get healed, and Southampton are just playing this so perfectly.
Yeah, choosing to play the Angela here, I mean, it's very scary into this Invis and Penny. It seems insanely hard to get value. I mean, you know, if someone who could do it, it is Plasma, but this is your main trigger and it's constantly denied.
Ooh, really a nice invisible boundary there, and a bit late one from Corpse First. They were already losing the fight. 2 are down. It's a 4v6. McCallion going to be committing that Eye of Agamotto as well, but Scenic happily just goes on to the Komaho and just puts damage out healing. They will happily take that trade. Portsmouth using 3 ults to no avail as they lose the fight once again. Corpse First managing to take down Nitro after a really nice huck from Plasma. The Stuffs get C. It looks like Southampton were getting a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too big for their breaches. Their hubris got the better of them as they're going to be seeing a McCallion take them down. The Heaven's Retribution does just keep Scenic locked down, as Carvin going to be using that Spider Time. Actually, never mind. They stun him out of it. That is a back to 50% for you, Carvin, as Portsmouth finally managed to break through this iron wall defense from Southampton, but with Flat Salt setting up the TP, we are going to be seeing another fight as they're already in, jumping onto the high ground. Scenic getting scary low already, needs to use that TP to get out for the time being, but that is a really big cooldown out as Nitro able to find McCallion, and C is just doing whatever they want. Glartrox is going to be going down, only able to find one though, and I don't think it's going to be enough as Plasma is trying to follow up and he gets taken out, as this is a last ditch effort. Jeff ult to try and keep them up and alive. Jacko going to be taken into Jeff's mouth, but it's just going to prolong the inevitable as we're going into last fight territory. 15 seconds left on the clock. McCallion not going to be TPing in just yet. Plasma scouting them out right now as the TP has been started. He knows that they cannot stun him out of it. Carvin is looking for it, not able to get it as the TP is going to be coming out. They are going to be jumping onto point. Jacko onto the Star-Lord instead, trying to get a lot of damage. Kyuki getting scarily low already, has to use that TP from Scenic. Stuffs just sitting on this Phoenix, saying that I can diff you. Callion getting scarily low on point though, as Kalon is trying to look for Stuffs here. Plasma just dancing around. They have Southampton split up right now, but Carvin is able to take down Stuffs, and that is extremely huge as the Spider is going to be coming out, not able to find anything, as a huge Eye of Agamotto from McCallion just shuts down the rest of Southampton, and I believe they are finally going to cap the first point. Portsmouth not looking so good in this map so far.
Yeah, this Penny is causing a nuisance for them. We know Carvon is a insanely good Penny. This is his comfort character, and
Ooh,
you know, on the map, he's one of the few.
I like that Southampton have a few of those niche one tricks. You know, like the Penny, the Magic. what I'd like to see, right? That's sometimes the way you can win it. You screw the meta, and you just play what you know, and it seems to be working for Southampton currently. As Portsmouth currently find their footing. Endsong Inferno is up and available for Stuffs, though. That is an extra life if he so chooses to use it, as Flat Salt is going to be grabbed in by Plasma. They need to not QQ cannot allow this to happen, as the invisible boundary is going to be coming out slightly too late to save Nitro, but Corpseverse is going to be traded out. They do double support ult, though, as Scenic uses that Kamehameha Unleash. It is going to win them the fight, but I think that's a little bit too much committed as Stuffs slams down. Managed to find to see with the Endsong Inferno, and Portsmouth are just going to flip the fight. So many ults committed for Southampton, but to no avail, as only with that Endsong Inferno and Evan's Retribution, they're able to push Southampton back. And I will say, Kyuki, you cannot allow Plasma to get these grabs. You cannot allow him to take out Flat Salt so early into the fight. You need to be using that pull just for Plasma, no one else, as we are going to be going into this fight. A lot of ults up and available for Portsmouth. We do have the Eye of Agamotto with the Kraken Impact combo. Jacko going to be going extremely early into the air. Eternal Bond is not going to be enough to save anyone, as it's not in the game. It got banned, and we are going to be seeing it. It's Jeff. Not going to be finding anything Kraken Impact on him, though, as Portsmouth are just stalling out the fight. Going to be able to take them apart one by one. An amazing legendary, I'm forgetting what it's called, Galactic Legend from Jacko to start off that fight and instantly take QQ out.
And they didn't even need to use the invisible boundary from the side of Portsmouth there.
Nope.
They held that on. They can now use that into the Darkchild from C. And that's the only ult Southampton have to their name. If they can counter that, they can then, you know, the Eye of Agamotto is free. They just need to be careful of that invis push. But, you know, if you're using Plasma to bait that out, which...
Yeah, I was going to say, you force the Angela to go bait it, and that's a free Eye of Agamotto, and let's see if they're able to commit to it, because I think you're exactly right there. Oh my god, Scenic almost getting pushed off the map. Nitro going to be taken out by Plasma, and he needs to be careful. He is getting low, but that shield's going to keep him alive. Darkchild going to be coming out as Jacko falls to Flat Salt, going in a little bit too far. Invisible boundary going to be saving them from C's Darkchild currently, as C does get found by Stuffs and shut down. That is no DPS alive for Southampton, and this means that Stuffs has free reign of the high ground, can do whatever you want. Nitro finally back to come and to test him, as we're going to be seeing Monster Hulk come out. Kyuki using that invisible boundary a little bit far back, though. It is going to be able to take down McCallion inside of it, but that is a very core ultimate used for kind of nothing here, is especially when we're going to be coming into this Endsong Inferno and Galactic Legend combo, and all they really have to their name is the Kamehameha Unleashed.
Looking very scary for Southampton. They need to deny Portsmouth the ability to take this map space by stuffing this door. There's going to be a lot of pressure from that Phoenix, though. Heaven's Retribution comes out with the Endsong Inferno, gets broken immediately. Kamehameha Unleashed already committed, though. Portsmouth can kite this and play back in with the Galactic Legend from Jacko, but Stuffs is going to fall. Plasma getting very dangerously low. Galactic Legend committed, coming in, finding KY getting very low, but peeled back as nothing is going to be found, and he is instead going to fall as Southampton take that fight. And now the whole economy is looking in favor of Southampton with this Galactic Legend up.
Southampton played that so well. All of the baits. Sorry, the fight is still going on though. I'll glaze her a little bit afterwards, as Carvin is getting scarily low. Plasma going to be able to get the touch to bring us into overtime. C needs to be careful here, as Carvin is away. Galactic Legend is going to be coming out from a Nitro. They are using the It's Jeff just to stay alive for the time being. Eye of Agamotto is going to fight Corpse and Stuff, though, as they get wiped out. The main DPS and healer gone from Portsmouth. And now it's just up to C, and oh my god, wait, they turned it around. Scenic and C are not going to be able to do enough damage, as Portsmouth have 4 alive. The Eye of Agamotto may have found 2, but the rest survive, as Plasma is going to be picking up the kill. Plasma and McCallion on the front line. They are on triple tank right now. We do have a Darkchild for C, though, when he comes back. Corpseverse still a little bit away from that invisible boundary. Going to be able to walk back from spawn, so not able to build it. Flat Soul getting scarily low, though. McCallion going to be putting in a lot of damage as the invisible boundary comes out from the QQ, as well as the Darkchild. They need to take out Corpse. He does get the invisible boundary, but it's a little bit too late, as 3 have already fallen. Oh my god, it's just up to Jacko, and DP. Corpse falls. Jacko trying to keep the dream alive for Portsmouth, but is not enough, and Southampton stop them in their tracks. We're not going to be seeing a world tour of this map today.
Not
Holy
quite.
shit.
I mean,
what a fight. Oh my god.
That was razor thin margins. Corpseverse was 2% away from that invis ult when 3 people on his team fell. If he had built that ult just seconds faster, that fight could have been completely different, as the Darkchild would be nullified, and then Portsmouth may have a chance to play back in and win that fight out. However, it was C who found the kills, cleaned the fight up, and silenced Portsmouth on their attack.
Yeah, I came into this. I got told, "Hey, Luna, do you wanna cast this? It'll be one-sided, but it'll be a little bit of fun." So I didn't warm up. I didn't really do any preparing. So I was like, "Oh, it'll be over quickly, and they aren't gonna be super close fights." But oh my god, they are putting on a show for us today, and I am enjoying every moment of it. I cannot wait to keep casting this series. I'm having the most fun I've had in a very long time watching this game. And I need it to keep going. I don't want them to ban C's magic. I'm loving this magic.
And it's this game that decides if Southampton win this series and win Marvel Rivals, they will have mathematically beat Portsmouth.
Oh my god, so
flawlessly.
Portsmouth have to win this.
This is a must-win series for
okay,
Portsmouth.
Right, Portsmouth, you need to lock in. Because Southampton are cooking right now. They are doing
that adaptation onto the Groot from Portsmouth here. They're playing Groot no more now. This is a very different style of comp. But
it's
we
a
know
good
they're
old
threatening.
combo, right?
Yeah.
We love to see that Strangling Prism with the Horn of Proteus. It's just so much damage. We are going to be seeing an instant grab from Plasma, already taking them away, and we need Cute Key to be on these invis pools. You cannot allow Plasma to do whatever he wants. See, getting a lot of pressure though, and they've got a lot of value with this tank lineup, creating so much space as the Groot. Callion is just forced to back away. Plasma going to be pulled in, but he knows that they don't have that cooldown anymore, but it doesn't matter. He's getting forced out, and he's getting really low. They aren't able to take him down, but C is disrupting the backline so much. Jacko getting scarily low, needs to be careful here, but Stuffs manages to find C, and the first pick is going to be going over to Portsmouth, and now it's just clean up as Nitro is going to be falling to Plasma. Scenic and Kyuki left alone to deal with Jacko as the tanks just are a little bit of a brawl inside the entirety of Portsmouth. Looking for a 5v1 there, Carvin. A little bit too far. They aren't going to stagger him. They're going to be nice to the Hulk.
Portsmouth playing that maybe a little bit too fast, not scouting out Portsmouth composition, not understanding what they have on the table, assuming they're still playing something similar, and just get caught off guard by that and more in the backline, cleaning C up.
I do like switching off of this, Jeff, though. Having two defensive ultimates in the face of this Southampton team comp is definitely needed. A little bit upsetting, though, is they did ban and protect specifically for that, Jeff. As Scenic's going to be diving in. Invisible Boundary kind of be coming out from both teams. Eternal Bond as well, though. They use 2 ults. Portsmouth are not looking good. Hornet Proteus comes out as well and is not able to find anything. The combo Unleash is just doing whatever they want. C finds Corpseverse, and now Jacko goes in the air with the Galactic Legend. This is an all-or-nothing Galactic Legend, but Flat Zolt is just going to happily shut that down. Nitro using this Ensor Inferno to stay alive for the time being is not going to be taken off the map by Plasma. Plasma is still bullying those. McCallion is left alive. Portsmouth, they're already setting up this TP. Corpse is getting in, getting ready to go for this final fight. If they can stop it here, it's a really nice stall. If not, that's 3 minutes on the clock as Scenic is getting scarily low already. Most cooldowns have been thrown already. Darkchild gets cancelled. This is not looking good for Southampton. Portsmouth have the advantage here. Jacko does fall, those stuff soon to follow. Scenic going to be falling as well, as not QK is the only support alive for Southampton. Currently being zoned by McCallion. Flatso looking for the Eye of Okamoto magic to find Corpse, and it's enough to find QK, distract them 3v3. McCallion is going to be falling, but not before Flatso falls to Plasma, looking for anything, something, trying to keep it alive. Jacko comes back for the Staggo, is able to keep it, stuff to Jacko, do it. They keep the point alive. Oh my god, my voice is going blooming.
Good lord, I mean, what a fight. I was in the process of saying Portsmouth heavily overcommitting to that fight we saw, God knows how long ago at this point, using basically all 6 ults and losing the fight, somehow able to come back in on that recontest and barely clinch the win with Stuffs just bringing his shotgun to their face and cleaning it up. The lack of healers, very advantageous for that Punisher, as we see Darkchild come in from T onto Jacko, misses the combo, bit lost, finds his way onto the backline as they fall very low. Jacko going down, Plasma going down, XD going down, as this is a very different story.
Oh my god, 25 seconds left, blooming. I thought they had it in the bag, but with no TP, it just carries on going as we're going to be going to point 2 in Southampton. They have the ult economy, they have the skill to take this all the way and bring us to 1-1, but like we said, Portsmouth need to win this. They have to win Marvel Rivals to stay in the varsity competition. And I mean, Southampton are making them fight for it, making them sweat a little bit here as we are going to be going over to point 2. Scenic, they have both support ults up. We do not want to see another double support ult. Both teams have done it now, so it is even. Plasma getting a little bit low, but is able to escape for the time being as C is just disrupting this backline so much, not allowing Corpse to get the healing off that he needs to, and forcing most of the cooldowns. XD going to be using that Eternal Bond to keep the fight alive, to keep the pressure on, but they only need to use an invisible boundary to stay alive and force Portsmouth all the way back again. But Carvin is a little bit lost, gets DMX'd in the middle of the fight, gets taken out and destroyed. Now it's a 5v6. We're going to be seeing a Heaven's Retribution from Plasma. Gets a little bit too low to reactivate it, though, as White Fox seeing it going to be using this. We're going to be seeing a Galactic Legend, but gets shut down by Stuff's Final Judgment. The Final Judgment just putting out way too much damage, but Flat Salt is getting a little bit of damage for his ult. Ayamogamoto gets pushed away by Corpse First, saving the day yet again. These are the Invis Psionic pushes that we want to see happen, as we are seeing them reset here. Portsmouth in a little bit of a bad situation. Same with Southampton, though, as they only have that World Breaker hold.
Advantage, though.
Yeah, that's what I just looked up at. Oh, they are going to be going for the Groot Strangling Prison pretty much instantly, but it's a trade instead. That's not what you want to see. You need to be winning these fights. Jacko going with the Galactic Legend. I don't think he wanted to be forced to use that, though. Is going to be used to win the fight, but with 1 minute left on the clock, this is looking scary.
Invisible Boundary still held on to 66% for KY's Invisible Boundary. On the other hand, they could play this early. There's only 40 seconds on the clock. There is 2 fights left of this series if they are fast.
Yeah, I love the underdog story, Plubing. I am rooting for Southampton right now. No caster bias, but I would love to see it as Darkchild is going to be coming out. This is the play that we need from C right now, forcing that invisible boundary from Corpse. This is extremely early into the fight, but Carvin gets taken off the map, and Scenic falls as well. McCallion's Grasp Wall just doing too much damage, and with only 15 seconds left on the clock, I don't think there's anything Southampton can do. They can maybe switch to the Strange, but he is still alive. If they stagger Flat Soul, this is all over. It looks like QK is going to be looking for this touch on the Invis, going to be using the invisible boundary to stay alive. So we are going to be going into overtime, but this is not looking good for Southampton. They do have a lot of damage onto McCallion, but Eternal Bond from XD is going to keep them alive as the Final Judgment is coming out from Stuffs. That is way too much damage. Monster Hulk is going to get melted in a matter of seconds. Same with the Kamiho Unleashed, and Portsmouth are going to be taking us to map 3-2-0 up. Oh my god, what a series this has been, though. It has been so close. Portsmouth finally locking in towards the end there, and with the ult advantage and taking out Flat Salt so late into the fight, meaning that they can't TP. Portsmouth clutched it out, and now it is series point. Southampton, they need to lock in or it's all over.
I mean, this is incredibly close. There are minute mistakes that are causing these fight losses and these changes.
Done playing King Queen. I've been at war with gods, Emma. What have you been doing?
Run a solid unification. Oh, and I just had a manicure.
Style over substance. Something.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You have to stop them from securing the mission area.
I may look young, but trust me, I've been through more than this. I can always use a shield. A doorway in reality. Have souls survive this! Come, my minions!
Oh, it's back. We're back.
Are we back?
Okay, we're back. Woo! Okay, a little bit of nothing.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys.
Kamehameha Unleashed
Nothing
shut him
happened.
down. C finds Stuffs here. They now have this free Kamehameha Unleashed to walk onto the backline. Jacko falling very low, isolated, will go down as that is the fight cleaned up for Southampton.
Yep. Like I said, nothing really happened. I'm not gonna lie. Southampton is still very strong. Only 1 point gone towards Portsmouth, as a lot of ults are going to be coming out now for Southampton as well. Portsmouth committed so much to that last fight but got nothing out of it. They really only have this respite from Corpse using that Mantis ult, the Soul Resurgence, the move speed going to be allowing them to get in. Early pick onto C though means it's now a 5v6 for Southampton, especially with the ult going to be out. Glotro is not going to be able to really find too much. McCallion going to be sent back, but it is a Magneto. He's going to be using that Meteor M to keep alive, not able to find anything. The fate of both worlds is going to be keeping them alive for the time being, but Stuffs manages to find Nitro, and that is a DPS that is extremely scary dead, as C is currently being stalled off. Eternal Bond going to be coming out from XD, going to be allowing Portsmouth to stay alive for the time being, but I don't think they really mind too much, as the Banhammer is going to be going straight onto the support. Scenic does fall to the Cloak Blind, as XD is getting a little bit low here. As Darkchild trying to put a lot of damage out, but I don't think C is enough. Although that being said, Corpus Verse falls, XD soon to follow, and now Plasma and Stuffs are the only ones alive to really keep this going. McCallion is there to support them, and they are able to manage to win the fight. C almost clutching it out though.
I think that might be the death throws for this Iron Man composition, as soon as they switch off, they manage to break this hold. Stuff's just doing insane work over on this Psylocke, finding 3 that fight, the opening pick, and then 2 more in the mid-fight. I mean, you would not want this guy on your third support when he can do this on Psylocke.
Oh, yes, 100%. Him switching off of the ult one was probably the best pick here, especially as we are going to be seeing a Glortrox extremely early, not going to really be able to find anything, as C is actually going to be able to take down Stuffs as well as Jacko, and now though no DPS remain for Portsmouth, and Southampton start pushing back in. A triple kill for C, as Corpse is going to be falling, and now the rest of the members are just trying to get out of their XD and McCallion. A little bit low though, XD looking very vulnerable here, going to be using that fade to get back to spawn. C overcommits a little bit, but Nitro managing to finish off XD means that the stagger doesn't really matter too much, as without that Cloak and Dagger, Portsmouth cannot push in. They do have this really nice fate of the Dance of the Butterflies, but oh my god, McCallion gets blown up! Those mines are scary. You need to look out, as Carvin has set up these little nice traps for you. You cannot be walking on those Benny Bites. Plasma getting a little bit low here, a little bit far up on this tank pool.
For this down to the Butterflies onto the backline here before they can build up any defenses, but Kamehameha Unleashed is already online for Southampton here. He's being marked out by Carvon. He's looking for his time now, as both supports are used for Southampton. Portsmouth can just chill.
Yeah, they need to just kite out of the way, get away from these supports, as the fate of both worlds is about to end as well. And now Portsmouth can start pushing in, although Corpse gets taken out extremely early, as C is going to be using Stuffchild to clean it up. XD and Stuffs both are full, and now McCallion and Jacko are just going to be taking the walk back to spawn. The walk of shame. 1 minute 20 remaining. Bluebing, I think Southampton may be able to do it.
I think they might be. This Magic is just cleaning these fights up and finding illegal ways of winning them. They should not have won that fight after they got kited on both of their support ults, but he just goes in there and kills both supports.
Yep, Eternal Bond extremely early from XD. They want to play with this pressure. They know that they have the ult advantage, but the mines kill him! That is no Eternal Bond anymore, as Glartros finishes off Stuffs, and now it's just easy cleanup for the remainder of Southampton, and this is not looking good for Portsmouth fans. Portsmouth, they want to end it here. They want the series to be a 3-0, but Southampton are hanging on in there. They don't really have much else to work with here, but a lot of fights still remain for this point, but not a lot of time. Jacko gonna need to get a big pick with this Glartrox for them to be able to use the momentum to keep going. Glartrox is gonna be coming out. It doesn't find anything. Meteor M is gonna be going up into the sky. C is gonna fall to Corpse. Meteor M not gonna be able to find anything, and now they only have the fate of both worlds from Corpse. Jacko able to get a really nice pick onto QQ though, with the Luna down. Carvin is just gonna be trying to stall, but doesn't matter. Nitro taking Jacko out, though, is really big. Fate of Both Worlds has been forced out from Corpse extremely early as stuff falls to the mines. And oh my god, Southampton, they may be able to do it as Carven takes out Plasma. And now it's one fight remaining. Southampton have the momentum. They find 2C, pops off once again, finding both of the supports. McCallion is going to be falling. Jacko is the only one left alive to keep the dream alive as Portsmouth with no TP are just going to fall only halfway through point 2. This is looking scary.
When you have these specialists on their characters, they are scary. Carvon and T are just tearing this lobby up, finding picks they should just not be getting, cancelling that Eternal Bond, and then in that final fight, Carvon's mines taking out Stuffs, taking out Plasma, and putting so much pressure onto Portsmouth, denying them a fight that they, for all intents and purposes, should have won.
Yep, 110%. They had the ult advantage, they had the way in, but it wasn't enough. Corpse getting forced to use that Fate of Both Worlds to stay alive was crucial for Southampton, as it allows C free reign to just finish up the fight, and he just happily slices through Portsmouth like a knife through butter. This Magic is terrifying. You cannot allow him to get these advantages. You cannot be using all your cooldowns to stop Nitro from getting value. You have to save them for C, because he is so good at taking down XD and Corpse and just really splitting all of Portsmouth apart. But it is not over yet. We are seeing a Plasma on the Garuto here, which, I mean, is one of his picks that we have not seen, but I know that he is extremely good on it when he wants to be. We are going to be using this unfair team up, which we actually weren't using last round, which is a little bit surprisingly decided to opt for the Lunar instead of the Invis, but I think the team up just, it's too powerful, right, Bluewing?
Yeah, and we're finally seeing that Jeff come out from Southampton.
Yeah, I mean,
still not using that Protect, declining the use of the Jeff here despite having protected it.
Oh yeah, I actually don't know how I feel about that. As like I was saying earlier, Jeff is so good on this map, especially on this first point, and they only really need to get through this first point, as XD is going to fall extremely early to the mines, and Portsmouth being a support down, they need to start backing away. Corpse has to play his life, but Stuffs is going to fall. Not Cute is going to find the support differential on to Corpse as Southampton dismantle Portsmouth and cap first point, and now the game is in their hands. They know that they don't need to push very far in order to win this. Only a tiny bit remains, and not a lot of ults have really been charged for Portsmouth. XD being so behind on the
fight early. They can't afford to give all of this distance that they currently are. They only really have 2 fights here, and they're about to give.
But they only have
fights up.
They only have invisible boundary plumbing. I don't know what they're going to do here. They're really not in a situation to be using it aggressively, but like you said, they have to. They cannot give Southampton the space, but I think they're just going to be forced to, as C is just causing so much pressure on the backline. Portsmouth still just letting them push in, and now there is only about 1 fight remaining. Final Judgment is going to be coming out from Stuffs extremely early, trying to force one of these support ults. It looks like it's only going to be Scenic using the It's Jeff, as Stuffs is getting really low. He doesn't even manage to get anything out. Nitro going to find McCallion through the invisible boundary, and this is not as C finds 3. Oh my god, C is just dismantling Portsmouth. They need to ban this Magic as he finishes them off in style.
I mean, what a amazing play from KY. C gets all the credit there with those 3 final hits, but that damage boost onto that right click there from C is what confirms those kills. It allows him to kill through that invisible boundary and just end the map right there.